Hey, greetings from Texas. Today we're going to take a look at the M-24/47 Mauser made in Yugoslavia. So here I have four Mausers. This is the Yugoslavian M-24 Mauser. This is a Yugoslavian M-48 Mauser. This is a German K98K Mauser in a sniper variant. And the other one, I'm not really sure, but the bolt matches the receiver serial number, but it's kind of a hodgepodge stock. So the original K98 was designed in 1898, thus the number 98. And in the mid-20s, they began to license manufacturing, and Yugoslavia was one of the companies that started around 1924, so that's why this one's designated the M24. Basically, a Mauser functions all the same. The bolts are not interchangeable, but there are slight differences. So I'm going to point out the main differences between the M24, the M48, and the K98. So looking at the M24, some of these were used during World War II. After World War II, the Yugoslavians gathered everything up and refurbished everything. And so you may get a mix of parts on them, but you want to look for some key things. So first of all, the difference between the K98, we'll start. Number one is the butt plate. On the M24, it's different. The original M24 had a straight bolt handle, so it's not unusual to find bent handles, especially after that. After they refurbished all those rifles after World War II. The K98 has a takedown assist for your bolt. Basically, you rest the bolt there and press the spring to get the main firing pin out. Not a lot of difference, with the exception of this bolt handle is a full round, whereas these other ones you can see have a flat surface on the bottom of the bolt. K98 also had a cutout here typically for the bolt handle. On the upper receiver handguard, the K98, the wood stops in front of the rear sight, and on the M48 and the M24, you have wood that goes all the way back to the front of the receiver. Germans typically had a hooded mount. Again, this is a sniper version, so it doesn't have the hood, but they also machined a slot in the M24 and the M48, especially after World War II. On the M24s, they added a groove so you can add the hooded front sight protector. Other than that, there's not much difference. Now, this particular model of M24 I have, that's the Yugoslavian proof mark. There are slight differences in that, but they're basically the same. Over here on this side, you can see basically this word, I can't read it upside down, but the 44, that was their main armory. Now, this was imported at some point into the US, so this serial number was added here. And you can also see, I know it's upside down, the M24/47 model designation. There was also an M24-52, and that came out in 1952. All right, the rear sight's essentially the same. It's a typical ramp sight, all the way from 200 meters all the way up to 2,000. I can't even see a person at 2,000 meters, but that was more for volley fire. Okay, now this one, the serial number should match. All the components should match. The serial number on this one is here. And it's also on the stock. So those match up, but this bolt doesn't match. So this tells me that this was probably part of that after World War II refit. So this could be a bolt from an M-48 or whatever. Again, the bolts will not interchange between the Yugoslavs and the German. Mausers were also made in Argentina. Also a marking here, this is obviously the importer, and they went ahead and added another etching onto that. In my opinion, the Mauser is the grandfather of the modern bolt-action rifle. Many manufacturers incorporated the design. The Mauser's strength is particularly in their bolt design with the big double lugs. One of my favorite rifles is the Ruger M-77, which has a mix of the Mauser bolt and the pre-64 Winchester stock design. The cartridge is a 7.92 by 5.7 millimeter, slightly larger in diameter than our 30-06 or 308 or 30 calibers, and this is it compared to the 5.56 or the AR-15 round 223. So let me show you a couple things on how to operate it. Okay, on the Mauser, you have a all these are the same for every Mauser. Oh, the other difference between the K98 and the M24 and 48s is they don't have a lockback feature. The German Mauser will lock back. It'll prevent the bolt from going forward once it's out of ammunition. The M24 doesn't have that. This is the safety. On safe, it's up and it'll be blocking your sight. To the far right, this is a bolt lock feature. And all the way to the left, and you can just operate that with your thumb. That is the fire position. To load it, you can just load it by hand. Or you can use a stripper clip. It'll hold 5 rounds, okay? This is an internal magazine. A clip, just to clarify, is used to load a magazine, okay? So on the AR-15s, those aren't clips, those are magazines. Magazines load clips, clips are magazines. Clips load magazines, magazines house the ammunition. Holds 5 rounds. Here's a little trick though, if you want to load 6 rounds, you can just put that 6th round on the top, hand feed it. Now your 5-round bolt action rifle has 6 rounds. To unload it on the Mauser, you need a tool. There's a floor plate. On some more modern guns, there's a floor plate release, and then you can drop the ammo out. But a quick way to do it is with the Mauser. You can just put the bolt up. You don't have to cycle the bolt fully. It's unloaded. That's just the quickest way that you can do it. Take the bolt out, it's pretty simple. There's a bolt release lever here. You just pull the bolt right out. To put it back in, you just want to make sure that the lugs are aligned. And it goes back in, and we'll put it back on safe. A little word on the ammunition. The bullet shape was copied by German scientists. They didn't reinvent the wheel. They already knew that that shape was ballistically sound. So the profile of the V2 rocket, if you had a little scale V2, it's going to match the same basically shape as this bullet. Okay, to load with the 5-round stripper clip, you can see these bullets, these have a steel jacket as opposed to the copper. Anyway, these are the 5-round stripper clips. On the top of most military bolt action rifles, you'll see a stripper clip guide You just want to insert the clip there. Now the Mauser has an indent here, so I like to come over from the left side, push the rounds down with my left thumb. I see guys pulling this out, but that's just an extra step. This was designed just to drive this dude home, and that clip's going to automatically come out. All right, we're going to check zero. We are approximately 50 yards. This is ammunition made by FN from February of 1972. I'm going to be shooting this 50-year-old ammo. Some of it's corroded. Normally I would clean it off. What will usually happen after it gets heated up and this expanded, this might cause the bolt to stick. So no reflection on the rifle. Because the sights are set for 200 meters, I should be high between 25 and 175 yards. Try 3 rounds. Yeah, that bolt's sticking because of that ammo. Stuck. Well, there you have it. That's the M-24/47 Mauser.